Residential Report Writing and Case Studies. Chapter 4, the Uniform Residential Appraisal Report, page 29. URAR, page 2, Sales History section. The first line is the I did or did not research the sale or transfer history of the subject property and comparable sales. If not, explain. There's 3 lines for that. Underneath that is my research did or did not reveal any prior sales or transfers of the subject property for the 3 years prior to the effective date of this appraisal. Underneath that is data sources and a big old long line all the way down. Underneath that is my research did or did not reveal any prior sales or transfers of the comparable sales for the year prior to the date of sale of the comparable sale. Underneath that is data sources and a big old long line. Underneath that, report the results of the research and analysis of the prior sale or transfer history of the subject property and comparable sale, import additional prior sales on page 3. Underneath that is 5 little things, 5 little sections. The first one is item, the next one is subject, the next one is comparable 1, 2, and 3. Under item, the first box is date of prior sale, transfer. And then there's a box to put something in for the subject, comps 1 through 3. The next item is price of prior sale / transfer. There's a box for all of them, sale, comp 1, comp 2, and comp 3. The next item is the data sources, and there's a box for all of them. The next item is effective date of data sources. There's a box for subject, comp 1, comp 2, and comp 3. Underneath that is the analysis of prior sale or transfer history of the subject property and comparable sales. And there's 4 lines to fill out right there. A sale is considered to have taken place if a change of ownership or change of title has occurred, even if the prior transfer was non-arm's length, such as a transfer between family members for $1. It is nevertheless a transfer of ownership that must be considered, analyzed, and reported. The URAR form requires documenting specific information and analysis by the appraiser. If a sale or transfer action has taken place within given timeframes per USPAP and secondary market guidelines. The information for the sales history subsection of this form requires researching available data sources and documenting that information on the form. The source of data must be entered on the form as well as the effective date of the data source. How current is the information and when was the data source last updated? If the data source is updated daily, your data source is current. If the data source is only updated once a month, then the information could be up to 30 days old. Identifying the effective date of the data source will indicate the lag time between the effective date of the appraisal and the data research to analyze the sale history requirement. Sales history analysis is required for the subject and all comparable sales used in the sales analysis. Some of the more common data sources that may be available in your area are assessor records, multiple listing service, listing agent or selling agent, owner, recorder of deeds, HUD-1/closing statements. By this time, you should be well versed on the specific time frames for the property or properties in question. You are required to document and analyze the subject's sales history for 3 years prior to the effective date of the appraisal. This is a USPAP requirement, and it is the minimum time requirement. The sales used in the sales comparison analysis are to be researched for a minimum of 1 year prior to the date of the comparable sale date. This is not a USPAP requirement. Rather, it is a Fannie Mae/Freddie Mac requirement. Once you have researched the available data sources to determine if sales have taken place within the identified time frames for the subject and the comparable sales, then reporting the information and summarizing the analysis of that information is required. The purpose of this research is to ensure that illegal flipping actions have not occurred with either the subject or the comparable sales used in the sales comparison approach. If the subject property has not transferred within the prior 3 years, or the comparables within the prior 1 year, the appraiser is instructed to leave the date of prior sale/transfer and price of prior sale/transfer fields blank in the sales history section. End of page.